I'm Allie Craig, and I'm traveling across the country to fix the heartbeat of the modern economy, the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are like no other business. It isn't just about selling a product or a service, it's about selling the experience, the relationship, and speaking to the social stories that hold the hearts and subconscious minds of our audiences. And it's these fledgling brands that must be designed as much for their audiences as it is for their authors if they're going to break the statistics and make bank. Having fixed countless brands over the last 20 years and worked with hundreds more entrepreneurs, founders, and startups, I know that I need to do something radical to get these brands and their founders back on track. Because in this age of social media where everyone is a critic as well as an instant expert, your business and audience can boom or backfire overnight. If I have any hope of saving these brands and transforming their businesses, I have to get these entrepreneurs to embrace the experience they are really selling and escape the mindset that all they are is just an offer. And today we're telling you exactly where the amazing Tamar Anderson is at. It's pretty darn fabulous. Thanks for letting us chat and catch up with you.
Of course, I'm excited.
So when we met over a year ago.
I know.
How freaky is that?
So time. Boom, boom, boom.
Your brand was a little bit segmented, would be a nice way of saying
and
it.
Corporate, still very corporate, right?
Still very corporate.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tamar Anderson. My company is Tamar It Up. I really help specialize in structure and process and building the systems that will allow a company to really scale and grow. So that could include everything from marketing and sales and information technologies to accounting and profitability analysis and hiring strategies. Oh yeah, you'll be hearing a lot about that. I really, really like working with smart, ego-driven people who really are clear and want to know the right answer.
Look at all her collateral. Look at whatever that's saying isn't this.
But she gives, it's verbal vomit, not for nothing. She gives so much information.
But she said she's Tamara Up.
No, she said she's Tamara Up.
Like
The influence circle.
yeah, but it doesn't. It's just two different people. I wouldn't think that that's corporate with the beer.
She does workshops at some fancy places.
I guess. But I mean, this, is just not, like, it's pretty rough.
I think that's all you need to know about me right now.
See how we transform Tamar Anderson's one-on-one success to a thriving online community. When it comes to Tamar's brand, she has multi-layers. We have the Tamar It Up, which is about her speaking, her presentations, and then we also have her Boss Actions community and her existing e-products. So we really have three distinct pieces. There's Tamar It Up because she really wants to start pushing her speaking and authorship side, and that's not necessarily specifically always boss action oriented. Like she talks on more than just boss actions. Oh my goodness. We look at that original brand and I think, who was this woman?
All I see is that glaring brooch, right? That's like, I'm sorry, Mike. I hit that brooch and I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, oh, so sad. It was me trying to bling out, right? Like, I am blingy. I just didn't know where to put the bling and how to rock the bling. And
well, because knowing your personality, knowing your vivaciousness, and seeing what you had prior, it was just like, I don't understand this woman. It was because like you are so dynamic in person, and it was just corporate.
Yeah, I think that I had been in such structures for so long that I knew I was, you know, breaking down some rules and kind of being outside a little bit the box, but I just didn't know how far I could really take it until we started down this process. And so I definitely was stuck in this place of walking what I knew would work for companies and walking what I knew I really wasn't how I could provide for them differently. And that was definitely a big opening that came about with this whole process.
Well, and I like how the aesthetical shift has happened, and just even the messaging, because number one, it's on point. It's totally you, but it doesn't actually take away from who you are trying to go after when it comes to the more corporate perspective. It actually, I think, unifies them and brings them together.
I agree. I think that what's happening for entrepreneurs is they are being missed out on. They're being told to figure things out. And this one key piece that we talk about in Boss Actions is nobody's approaching it in a way that makes them feel like they have to be a certain size before they can start to learn to hire. And that's not true. And by changing the brand, it made it accessible to the people that say, I'm not ready to be a corporate yet, but God, I'd really love to work with some kick-ass people.
Well, and I think one of the best things that showed up with the brand is the whole idea of going from business owner to boss, because that mental shift, that aesthetical shift, it's what your brand translates, and it's what I think in the heart of your audience, they're like, that's what I want to do too.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, because boss is not a dirty word. It really isn't. It's this wonderful time when you get to be there for your team, and it's about, you know, it's like I say, boss provides the tools, the team builds success. So the more people you have out there working with you and for you, the more you get to just step into this role of how can I make you more successful? How can I make you more successful? And that makes the whole company successful.
Let's be honest, everybody has moments where you don't like yourself. There's something about yourself aesthetically you don't like. Maybe other people don't see it, but you see it.
Of course.
And so when we were shooting Talmar, we were having her sit down for the first shot. And I think for her, when she saw it, you know, Norma and I were super excited to show her this raw photo out of the camera, because it's raw. There's no Photoshop, there's no InstaSlim on it yet. So if it looks good in the camera, it's gonna look freaking amazing afterwards. Okay, good, just trust us.
I actually lose my confidence when I look at it.
Okay. No more.
Yeah. Sorry. No.
Seriously,
I'll get my,
please wait
I will get my shit together. I will. Yeah. I just, it's not my strength.
Seriously. We all have shit.
Those meltdowns are so common, and I wish that women really understood this. In my line of work as a personal stylist, in the fitting room, people come out and the first thing that they do when they look at themselves is fixate on the part of the body that they don't like the most. And I always tell them, we look at the overall picture, so I can understand being upset and having that little bit of a meltdown moment, but being able to talk to her, pick her up, wipe the tears,
And change the look.
yeah, like, and look fantastic.
Okay, and red lips out.
Red lips, I want red lips. And you know what?
You changed the
highball
look?
of what was it?
Whiskey.
She was just fine.
Hell yeah.
So a little bit of tears and a whole lot of whiskey and make everybody feel great.
And her shots look amazing.
She looks great.
I'm working hard.
Yeah, I drink bourbon 3 straws.
Hey, drink in your hand, whatever you have to do to get the shot, we do it basically. You know, I always say if it's not illegal or immoral, let's just, you know, whatever it takes, let's do it.
I know. It was really helpful, actually. It kind of just made it okay for me to be in the moment and do what I needed to do to embrace it.
Well, and what I really appreciate is the fact that, you know, though we thought the original shot that started everything off was fabulous, you did it, and that was totally okay because we all have different ways that we see ourselves, and it was as simple as literally changing the outfit.
Yeah.
Changing the outfit, changing the position so that you could own your power.
Yeah.
So what I like about it is that you're not just owning your own style and aesthetic, but you're empowering yourself. And I think far too often entrepreneurs do things that the experts say to do, but are disempowering for them personally.
I agree with that 100%. So the big issue with that was I'm sure that the outfit was gorgeous and beautiful and it would have been right, but I was dealing with two issues. One, I was trying something new, right? When you're working with an expert, you're like, I want to do something new, but it was the newness that I was like, okay, am I being a jackass? Am I allowed to say jackass? Am I being a jackass because I'm just not trying something new, or does this really not connect with me? And that kind of fear of am I defeating myself if I speak up to the expert, or am I, it was a lot of pressure.
It's
it was
that internal story going on.
It really was.
Yeah.
And so, but the thing I learned again and again and again throughout the whole process of working on the show and working with you and your team is the more Talmar I get, the easier it is for people to say yes and understand me and where we're going and how they can have a piece of what I want for them.
Well, and the thing is that just because someone else, especially when it's your personal style, it's personal
Yes.
for a reason, that if you don't own it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if everyone else thinks you look amazing in it.
Yes.
Your nonverbal communication and everything will change for better or for worse.
Absolutely.
And I think that was a perfect example of it, because once we put you in that green olive jacket, you're standing, you're rocking your heels, like, nope, that's Talmar.
Yeah.
You completely showed up in that moment.
Well, and it's funny about that with regard to the clothes is that actually is something I would not have worn beforehand. I never wore pants. Like I wore pants or jeans like maybe once a year. Seriously, that's not an exaggeration. I never wore pants. So it is funny that somehow changing to the jacket and the t-shirt and the heels, but bringing in the new element of the jeans kind of helped me align the brand. I mean, there were changes that we did, but in line with the things that I liked and I want to rock.
Well, let's get honest about the whole pants situation. Because,
we're going to tell you a secret.
No one has a perfect body, okay?
Girl.
Nobody. No, not even the skinny
Sing it.
minis, not even the size zeros think they have the perfect body. They all want to change everything.
Fact.
And I completely understand that. Like, my body is so not perfect, and I've had my own health struggles, which of course throws your body into chaos.
Yep.
And most women will go, oh, we're not going to talk about this. This is really, really
No,
quiet.
no, I can't hide what I got. I mean,
But you don't say why you have it, because you don't want to be that complainer. There's an internal
point.
story going on
Good
about
point.
why you're not going to really discuss it. You're just like, I live with it, I deal with it, I keep moving on.
Yeah.
But the truth is that, and Stacey Lenoir does not appreciate my tip at all. But I'm sorry, ladies.
I love this tip, though.
If you carry your weight in your stomach, which most of us all do, most of us have that super cortisol happening or whatnot, babies happened, all that kind of stuff happened.
Fertility drugs.
Maternity pants or clothing is your best friend.
Yeah.
Because it fits your tummy, but then it fits the rest of you, so you're not all like, massive the whole rest of the way down. So it fits your bum and your hips and your thighs and all that.
Absolutely.
And I love that you missed your flight. It was a good act of God that she missed her flight after your hair appointment. And you went with your sister, I believe.
Yeah, my sister lived in town, and so we went, and I was like, Allie says we should try maternity pants. And because I have a big waist and everything else is not big. So I was like, let's go try it. And so my sister and I ran straight to the mall from the airport. And sure enough, we go in and there's a beautiful pair of black pants and we try them on and we both were like, holy mamba jamba. Because my sister was like, you lost 15 pounds by buying a pair of pants. And so I bought 2 pairs because I'm smart. If you find it and it works, buy 2 pairs. But I still, to this day, I have those pants and I still work that aesthetic because I haven't lost all of my stomach weight yet. But boy, it just slims me down and builds my confidence. And I never wanted to wear pants that were big and gathery, like the big, to get them to fit my waist. They were giant everywhere else. And then it was, I'm telling you, it was a great
trick.
tip.
It's like
really
the master trick. It will make you look like you've lost at least, 15 pounds. Easy.
I would say so.
And the great thing is they're super comfortable as well. So if you ever swell like I do, you don't have to worry about, oh shit, I think I'm gonna bust my pants.
Absolutely.
Issues maybe guys don't have, but us ladies have all the time.
Absolutely,
so FYI on that one.
Yeah.
But the great thing about just even knowing that trick is that it actually helps you do what your whole purpose of coming to the show was, which is owning your visibility. Let's see that in action.
Absolutely.
Part of going through this process of the Fix My Brand is so that somebody will be pushing me and saying, okay, they're here, they're ready, they've got the story. You literally just have to pick up the phone or get on the computer or whatever the issue is, get to the spot.
Richard Branson, Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins, right? All these people that I know touch in a huge way. If I'm going to help people, I have to come to terms with it, for lack of a nicer way of saying it, right? Put on your big girl panties. The people that I can influence and help connect with my image.
So we're gonna make sure that we capture that in Orlando when it comes to her photography, but also when it comes to her video work.
I'm just not great at going out and doing the PR stuff and asking for the coverage and getting in front of the media. And I'm hopeful that that's going to be the thing that kicks me in the pants so that I don't get called out in season 3.
I'll take ulterior motives of not wanting to be called out in season 3. Whatever makes someone move and take action, I'm totally all about.
Fact. I mean, you know, the pressure's on. You're like, okay, now that we've done this thing, what are we going to do with it? But stepping in the visibility was my hurdle. That was the big one for me.
Well, and there's so many reasons why people don't want to step up. Personally, how they feel about themselves, how they feel like they look. They don't feel like they have all their pieces together. So it's like, I know I'm not perfect. Like maybe my website isn't perfect. Maybe I know I'm supposed to add something to it. And there's just all these excuses we put in front of ourselves.
Yeah, it is interesting because I will tell you, in the year that it's been out and the millions of downloads that the show has had and the feedback that I get from people, I haven't even had my first troll. I'm a little sad. I haven't had
someone wants to step up.
Yeah. You feel like, bring it on, I got you. But so I haven't had that interaction where somebody was like, what the hell were you thinking wearing that? Or because a lot of it is, again, we were aligning it to who I am. So I like who I am. So if they were like, Tamar, you know, why were you wearing this, that, or though, or why did you say do this? That's me. So I'm not trying to offend people. Generally, I try not to do that. But at the same time, if you disagree with me, it's okay. I'm okay with that. And so the visibility, if the fear was that people weren't going to like me or not approve, I think that never came to fruition for me. But it was just taking the step to be willing to stand on stages of people looking at me and my whole shape and my whole being and swearing and using my hands nonstop and seeing if that was going to work. It's a hard step, but this was very helpful.
Well, and the thing about it is that the whole beginning part of our brands, which most brands, by the way, were just like week 1 and 2, is this seriously what we're going to talk about? Was talking about you. And what you wanted, because that's the core of what this is all based on. And I think that makes it easier then to stand out, because you already said, you already like you. So now you know that if you're stepping out within your brand, that as long as you're within that, owning that visibility is easy, because you're like, hey, I'm just being me, and it's not intentionally offensive in any way, shape, or form. And if you find offense with it, that's probably on your side, not mine.
It was really big. I mean, I was like, okay, because when we started, I was like, I don't know, maybe a few thousand people will see these things. I didn't know how big it would get or what it would look like.
Told you we were up.
I know. I just, and you're hopeful. You're like, maybe it'll be 10,000. You don't know. And I remember watching the first few. I was like, oh my God, 7,200 people, 7.2K. Oh my God. And then when we were hitting millions, I was like, all right, I got to get some other stuff together because I know what's going to happen next. So it was very fun, but getting over the hump and the progression with which we did it in the show and all that homework that we did leading up to defining what the brand was going to be and really aligning it, Allie, you're a genius.
It was all purposeful. Didn't feel like it. I know everyone was along the way, just kind of like, I don't know what we're doing right now. But it all adds up. All the pieces come together.
Absolutely. Loved it.
When it comes to Talmar's marketing experience, it is all about using her personality to her advantage. And even though she says she hates the camera, she's such a natural. And that's one reason why we created the Talmar Truths. Because when you get talking with Talmar one-on-one, she just tells it like it is. And that is so awesome and so refreshing. And more importantly, so on brand for her. So we got her talking about really what does she think it is to be a boss? How do entrepreneurs and small businesses mess themselves up? And what are the struggles they deal with?
Okay. Please, God, do not think that you need to hire someone to manage you. You are the boss. You own the company. You may hire somebody to organize your time, organize your tasks, and organize your day. You may not hire a manager of you. Do you really have to do a scope of work every time? Yes. I hear it all the time. I can't find good help. I keep getting the same bad people. I don't understand why I can't find the right person for the job. You're stuck in a hiring loop because you're not following and planning a process for hiring for your company.
And though she may have a bourbon in her hand, the truth is that the Talmar Talks are really a great way to express what she's about and her expertise at the same time.
You're a boss. You have to be willing to fight for what your company needs above and beyond the personalities within it. You need to be your company's champion. That's the job. That's being a boss. Cheers.
Those Talmar truths. Those were, I love those still this
That was
day.
a lot of bourbon.
Even though I've seen them so many times, I still love them and I love the wisdom of them.
Thank you, thank you. Well, you know, we knew that when I talk to my audience, I believe this is one of my uniqueness, is I really stay away from what I call MBA talk, right? And that stands for a master's degree that a lot of people go and they'll talk about key performance indicators and, you know, data points. And what I do is I sit down with a business owner and I say, look, we have to measure it, so we're going to start some metrics. And it means the exact same thing, but I believe in conversational. I think that people can hear it better. They're not so busy trying to take what you say in a very intellectual or overly educational way and turn it into their words. So if we start from a point of this is how people communicate, they're going to more quickly be able to get to the point, figure out how they can apply it to themselves and be able to take it forward. So that's why I love that conversation.
Well, and what your whole brand does, and what I really think the Talmar Truths videos do, is that besides being your languaging, it also puts your directness in there. Because if someone wants the sweet, HR, politically correct kind of person, love this lady, but this ain't your lady.
This ain't, yeah, that ain't me. Yeah, you know, and I did, that's really funny that you say that. One time I was in like some mastermind group many years ago, and somebody said, well, you know, if I had feedback for you, maybe you would find a way to not be so to the point and direct in everything that you say. And I said, I totally took the note. I was like, I totally get that. I said, but if I stopped doing that, my audience, my clients, they would be like, why are we doing all this stuff? Just get to the point. So it is really important, and embracing those videos was the best way to, because I get emotional. I'm like, stop making it so hard on yourself. Life, you know, building your business, building your team, it can be easy, for goodness sakes. Let's just take a breath and do it step by step, but stop creating your own chaos, please goodness.
Well, and what your entire brand does is it really focuses your expertise and showcases it, but in a very clear and concise way, and honestly really creates more of a lifestyle for who this boss is becoming, not just a product. Let's see how that looks in action. So Boss Actions ended up becoming more of a kind of communal site. In the long run, it actually makes the customer experience simpler because she can control how and where a customer sees.
Exactly, and she can choose to filter them in whatever direction she wants them to go.
Managing the staff, knowing who's right for a position, knowing what position to hire for, super stressful. I am not kidding when I say I feel your pain. But what I know is it's always better when you have both a team that kicks ass and a community that understands. Boss Actions community, full of bosses that feel your pain, just like me. They get what it's like to worry about whether you have enough sales to pay for payroll this month or not. They totally feel your pain about trying to decide, should I hire an assistant that would really help me, or somebody in the deliverable so that our clients get service faster? And which one is going to pay for itself first? These things are overwhelming. There's a lot of decision in there. But here's what I can tell you. If you decide to join Boss Actions membership, you will go through the shift. You will shift from being a business owner to a boss. And a boss knows the process and the steps that they can take to make those decisions. So your business grows and it gets outside of who you are on your own. This is what a kick-ass team is. This is what happens when you take the time to find the right person, not any person. And we will help you. We'll help you learn how to decide who the right person is. We're going to help you learn how to write the right kind of employment ad so you attract the right people. We're going to help you learn how to manage those teams. I literally show you how to have the difficult conversations. We're going to talk about things like how to fire someone, how to tell them that they're dressed inappropriately. Yeah, I like a little cleavage. Not everybody does. What is your role as the boss? Join Boss Actions membership. I know that me and the community, I know that we can help you get there faster, get there easier, and really grow that amazing team that wants to do what you want to do. They just want to be successful with you. Join Boss Actions.
I can remember the conversation we had about, are we going to be doing a multi-platform brand where you're just the how-to solution person, how to fix your hiring issues, or if we were going to transition into more of a lifestyle. And I love that we kind of chose a smidge of a hybrid.
Yeah.
So that way you can control not just your own business and brand, but also how your audience experiences it.
I love that too, you know, and it's proved out to be the right, I do need to allow for both for my community. So of course, you know, we started this new brand at the same time as I was starting a new niche. So there's been learning, you know, kind of pain points along the way, but we've been clearer and clearer and clearer with our audience and with the clients that really are benefiting from this. So that community part is definitely something, you know, they want to be around other bosses. They want to be able to share what has worked for them and what hasn't worked with them. And so that's definitely a part of what Boss Actions provides. But we always have to start with well, that's fine, but how do I find good people? How do I know they're really going to do the job, you know? So we do have to do the how-tos, and that hybrid was the right way to go.
Well, and it helps you not just control based off of how you want to live in your life, but also model for your audience exactly how to be the boss and own it. If it is through the logistics of a how-to product or service, to the community aspect, because we don't have really good examples of what it means to be a boss. Like we have huge corporate examples and most of those aren't positive, but this is a great way that you can bring the everyday entrepreneur and small business owner and they can own their boss status, and you're leading the way with it.
Well, and that is one of the fun things, one of my favorite things is when a boss is surprised by how awesome everything works the way it's supposed to work, they will go into the community and be like, holy cow, I just did this major performance review with my team where they got to tell me what they think, and they all think I'm doing a really great job, you know, and because these people they're practicing what they're learning and they're putting it into play, and it makes it, you know, the boss needs a little validation back. You know, is this working? Are you guys liking how we're doing this? And it's really fun to have them share that, not just the pain points, but wow, this really can come together and be a great place to work with kick-ass people.
It isn't just a fairy tale.
It
really can be.
It isn't. It is a reality. Yes, you have to do a little work, but it's just about shifting how you do the work and really learning to put your people first. That's it. People are the priority.
Exactly. It's everything's a relationship.
Easy breezy.
So, where's the next step? What does the future hold for Ms. Talmar Anderson, Talmar It Up, and Boss Actions?
You know, we've, like I said, we got clearer and we've been working on, right now we're just kind of speaking on stages everywhere. I'm just trying to get to as many entrepreneurs as I can to tell them they don't have to be overwhelmed. That this is a thing they can do, they can escape the hiring loop, that's what we call the program now, and that there's something they can do and it will change literally the rest of their life as soon as they know how to be this boss. It gets so much easier and so much more fun.
So, big goal, big speaking stage. Just in case, you know, one of our million of people viewing has a connection there that want to hook you up with.
Yeah. I think, of course, I love masterminds, but I think that I'm going to go. I really like Stu McLaren has the Tribe. Jeff Walker Launch, PLF LaunchCon is his, and then of course, you know, anything entrepreneur or Inc.com based would be phenomenal.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, the whole team. It's been amazing.
And next week, we are catching up with the amazing Lisa Rahert. We're going to see exactly where she is with the RFP Success Company. See you then.